Welcome back. Tonight I have my lovely wife helping me, so hopefully the camera work will be much better. I can actually work with both hands. We're going to do hot and sour soup. I was thinking about it, what to do next, and this little project has taken me back to some of the first things I've cooked, and this is one of them. This is let me talk about soup for a minute. Soup is super important, obviously, in Chinese food and Chinese culture, but pretty much in any cuisine and any culture. It serves a lot of purposes. You can make more ingredients go farther, and you can also feed a larger group of people that don't always have time to eat at the same time. So you can keep a soup hot, people can come and go. There's soups that will cool your body down in the summer and soups that will heat you up in the winter. This is obviously a very warm soup. But it's introducing two concepts that I wanted to talk about. One, and I didn't even think about it like this, but one is the concept of balancing flavors. So if you can make a soup, you can make a sauce. We talked about the 5 flavors. They're spicy, salty, sweet, sour, and bitter. So hot and sour is a balance of 2 opposing flavors. So with this soup, you can actually practice tasting and knowing how to balance those flavors. That was one thing. The other thing is starch. Starch is super important in, well, any cuisine, but in Chinese cuisine, this is the most difficult aspect, is how to thicken a sauce, when, how much. That's the thing that takes real skill and timing. This is just maybe like, a quarter cup of cornstarch dissolved in water. The water, cold water, it allows it to blend into the liquid quicker and blossom. It's like when same with your starch, you starch your shirt when you're ironing and the heat makes it open up. So the timing of it is very critical, and it's going to be easier to do for the first time in a soup than it is in a dish. Okay, so simple ingredients. Let's see this here. Thinly sliced carrot, thinly sliced soft tofu, and very thinly sliced soaked shiitake mushroom. The shiitake mushrooms in Chinese cooking always they dry everything. So mushroom is considered a yin ingredient, and so by drying it in the sun, they believe it becomes healthier. Obviously, it allows for storing things, and their techniques for preservation are amazing. And these are traditional techniques, not just in this culture, but in so many cultures that before refrigeration and ice, which is only like 100, 200 years old, were absolutely necessary. They also, it changes the flavor. It's a transformation. So when you soak shiitake mushrooms, this water is gold. If I make a sauce, I'm going to use this water. I'm not just going to use plain water. So I'm going to add a little bit of this stock to what will become our soup, and it's going to give it a much deeper flavor than if it was just water. If you ever look in the kitchen in a Chinese restaurant, you'll see woks on either side of a giant pot of, maybe like, 20, 30, 40 gallons of water. And the vegetables just keep getting dunked in there throughout the day. And that broth makes everything tasty. All right, so let's move on with this. So, what are we going to use for sweet, or for hot, is the chili oil, and which we just made, and rice vinegar. You can use regular vinegar, you can use apple cider vinegar, you just need something sour. I love rice vinegar. It's sweet, it's amazing. It's kind of neutral, it's not as flavored as apple cider vinegar. It's so good. And we're going to use 2 types of soy sauce. We're going to use the Bragg's, this is more of like the flavor, and this is a darker soy sauce that will actually make more of the color. So, pretty simple. We have black pepper, The first chef I learned from used white pepper, but I hate white pepper, so we don't use that. And salt. Salt in the water. And our ingredients can go in gently. These are ingredients that basically need no cooking. They're going to cook instantly. Okay. So we're going to allow it to come to a quick boil, or almost boil. And the boiling is important. It purifies the water. You know, so many chemicals, everything in water nowadays. Easiest way to purify it is with boiling. Okay. Just a little bit of color. And you just start off gently with things, with ingredients. Especially powerful ones, like vinegar. If I add too much vinegar too quickly, I can't fix it. I have to like double the size of my soup. So this is where I'm going to start tasting. You can't taste too much. I had a chef tell me like any more than 3 times and your palate is confused. So you want to make each time count. You want to be somewhere close to where you think you want to be before you start tasting. So I'm going to taste this before I add the chili. The chili is going to, is strong and is going to confuse my palate a little bit. So I'm going to get first I'm going to see if it's salty and sour. And if it is, then I'll add the chili. It probably needs more soy sauce just from the color. Oh, it's so good. It's the mushrooms. The mushroom broth is tasty. Don't rely just on soy sauce to add salt. Actually use salt. So I am going to go ahead and put in a little chili at this point because it's not too far from where I want to go. Okay, so now you can see the color is starting to look more like what you would see. I'm sure everyone's been to a restaurant and seen hot and sour soup at some point. They have a dark soy sauce that they use that is just for coloring, and it's like just totally black, and you can use like a 1/4 of a teaspoon and it'll just change the color. Or mushroom soy sauce. There's a lot of different kinds. Just find one that you like and tastes good. Maybe a little more sour. So that's what I'm trying to balance. Salty, sour, spicy, sweet. This doesn't really have anything really bitter in it. That's the flavor that's really uncommon to Westerners. We get it in espresso, but not everybody likes espresso, right? Remember, you can always add more. You can't take it away once you put it in there. A little more spicy because we all like spicy food. And the oil serves a dual purpose. You know, everyone's into molecular gastronomy now, like it's something new. They knew this like 4,000 years ago, that fat carries the flavor to your taste buds. That's why the sesame oil gets added at the end. It creates like a bridge from your ingredient to your senses in your mouth. Physically, chemically. It's perfect. Okay. So now we're going to deal with the starch. I'm going to thicken this a little bit, right? I said it was perfect, and I keep seasoning. That's what chefs do. They keep adding more flavor. Salt is your friend. Use it wisely. Okay. Starch. So it's easiest to add in the liquid form, and you want to do it quickly and carefully and a little bit at a time. Again, like you can turn this amount of liquid into a brick by using that amount of starch. So we're not going to use it all. You want it really hot, boiling just under. That's fine. So here's what we're dealing with now in terms of aquosity. You know, totally liquid. All right, ready? As soon as you put it in, you stir. Okay? And it takes a second to interact. Okay, so it's still very liquid, just a little bit thicker. Obviously, we're going to add more. There are lots of ways to thicken things. This is not the only way, but it's the way that you will use when you want to cook something quickly. See? It's changing. And, you know, this is also a matter of taste, how much starch you put in. When you're dealing with the sauce, the right amount will allow it to, like, physically coat your vegetable or whatever ingredient, glaze it. I don't like to use too much. I don't want... See? Tell the difference. Underestimated. Okay, that's it. When you stop boiling something, the starch will harden, will come out more. See. Last thing, as always, a little sesame oil for the flavor and for the molecular transfer to your. Right. Do we have a ladle? Doesn't matter. No, it's not gonna work. Never hold. This is a little. Don't do this. This is, unless you're really steady, it's dangerous. You always ladle hot stuff into a bowl when you're not holding it. It may be messier, but it's safer. My wife is hungry. She wants to eat this. Non-traditional probably garnish is cilantro, but it's delicious in there. Chinese spoon. Incidentally, that was the first compass of mankind. That's it.